This 3 years ago, did this 5 years ago, I should do this year.
You would think, but I'm not that good of a studier.
Right.
I procrastinate too much. I watch the races, I just don't study them.
It seems like at least on super speedway, like last year, obviously, the team did a lot better. At least the finishes were a lot better. Is there something to that?
I would agree. I don't know why. No. Speaking of study, like I feel like you can study and you can get all those things in your mind of like what to do in certain situations. But damn, man, you're going to get surprised of a new situation and not be ready for it, and then try to run through the categories of like, okay, where does this one fall? What should I do? By the time you think that long, it's over. You know what I mean? So you need to just be a quick thinker on your feet and just go with reaction and what you feel in the moment.
Last year, you guys won early and often in the first part of the year. How important is it to get that out of the way early and then concentrate on what's next?
Yeah, no, winning early is, man, that's huge for your season. That just kind of sets the tone. It gives you a chance to know that you're in the playoffs. You just got to make sure you keep everything else in order. But, if you're getting into the, July, August months and you don't have a win yet, that it gets stressful, and that's not going to be a place where you want to get to.
You had 2 top 10s in Atlanta last year, top 5 or top 10. You really took to that track quickly, the reconfiguration, different car. What is it about it, or are you just, easy acclimation?
I don't know. I'm not a fan of it. I don't really like it, but it is what it is. So, I don't know. We got lucky last year in the 5th place finish because we stayed out on fuel mileage, and then the rain came and gave us that opportunity. Track position is just so hard to get there. It's hard to pass. You get 2 lanes too wide, and I felt really good about my car. Like I felt like I could go to the bottom and I could rip the bottom better than anybody. But then there was no room to get back in line on the top to get the straightaway speed that you need. So I kept getting sucked backwards each time that I would pull out of line and try to make a move. So it was the confidence I had in my car was net hurting me. So just it's hard to be patient in those situations and sit and ride.
Kyle, I noticed.
I grew up in Vegas, obviously, and a lot of betting happens there, a lot of gambling happens there. So
A little bit.
It feels like I'm the natural fit for that. So thanks to BetMGM for being associated with the Vegas Cat. But all in all, I mean, again, it's a huge market. A lot more states are coming up with, releasing the regulations and allowing sports betting to happen in their states, and I feel like that's only a good thing for the industry and just having that chance.
What's your responsibility as an athlete in all that?
Well, I mean, obviously, I feel like for us, keeping the integrity of your sport. Obviously, you're not going to do anything that hurts the, the things that you're supposed to do behind the wheel. You can't change the outcome of events, right? So that's a big piece of it. That's what our part is. Also, just making sure you deliver the message of safe betting as well too. Not getting somebody too much into it and addicted to it, right?
So should we bet on you to win this week?
I would say, well, from what I've heard of a lot of other people around our industry this past week, there's a lot of people that have good feelings on us this week. So maybe that's a good omen.
You feel, or what do you remember your first win at Las Vegas? Because, being in front of the home crowd, the whole 9 yards, what did that mean to you?
In 2009,
Yeah.
the Cup win, it was huge. That was big. That was a cool deal. That to me felt like my Daytona 500 today. I mean, I've had some big wins. I've won Indy. I've won, I've won the Southern 500. I've won the Coke 600 All-Star race, all that stuff. But the Vegas win, it was just like such a relief and such a monumental win for me because I remember grew up right down the street watching that place be built. So it was pretty cool. I can only imagine what winning here at Daytona on Sunday night will feel like.
Is there less pressure when you go back to Vegas?
Because I've won there, yes, there's less pressure, but I've never backed it up. So you still want to win there every time you go, being the hometown. And I think I have 4 or 5 third place finishes there in the last 6 or 7 races, whatever the hell it is. I mean, we're right there. We just don't get it.
Of all the various places that you have finished here at Daytona, is it more frustrating to be high and just miss, or to be in position and get collected and then you're down the list?
I think I think last year would probably hurt the worst. So like we led mile marker 500 and then we got crashed out and finished 19th, where there was other years where I got beat towards the end and finished second or third, and yeah, you're pissed, but you also know like, okay, that's a good start to the year. You know, getting out of Daytona with some good points and a good go of it, I guess lends it to be a little easier on the feelings than coming out of here with 19th.
With all the championships, with all the wins you've collected in your career, especially with all the majors, would you still feel that something would be missing if you until the Daytona 500 box is checked off?
Yeah, I mean, it's missing, right? There's no check mark there, but you know, does it do anything to solidify your career or validate the things that you've done or accomplished here? I don't think so. I mean, I look at Mark Martin and Rusty Wallace and Tony Stewart as some greats that have blue jackets that made it to the Hall of Fame that haven't won this race, you know, but it would certainly be nice to not have to worry about that going in and have this trophy at home.
Well, you're about at the point where Earnhardt was when he won his first, or won his only one.
Trust me, I'm well aware. Thank you very much. I hope that we can talk about some of the same storylines on Sunday. That'd be nice.
Kyle, how do you kind of compare the level of parity in this series compared to when you first got up here?
Way more now than it was. Way more. I mean, back in 2005, early 2005, when I was here, I mean, you had to be in good stuff, and that was one of the most frustrating things that I had too. Was I knew I was in good stuff at Hendrick, and Jeff Gordon's winning around me, Jimmy Johnson's winning around me. They're racking up championships or top threes in points, and I'm sitting here spinning out, crashing, and tearing up stuff, and only winning 1 or 2 races a year. So it got frustrating, you know, really quick. And so over the years at Gibbs, you know, found my way, and then now again, just with the car and everything, it just feels like it's so tough. You know, parity is so tight. You can go to races back in the mid 2000s and probably race against 5, 6, maybe 8 guys. Now you go to races and you're racing against 12 or 15 of them to win. And here at restrictor plate races, I think it's 30. Like, you can literally look down the list and be like, yeah, there's no reason why any of these guys wouldn't win.
Do you think Chevys will have an advantage considering the new body styles on both the Ford and the Toyota that they're going to have to work in and get used to?
No, I would think anytime you come out with a new body, you fine tune on it and you make it better than what it was, you know. So ours being the oldest, we haven't had time or any opportunity to work on it to make it better than what it was. So those guys, I'm sure, are going to be fast. But with all the testing and the things that NASCAR does in the wind tunnel and whatnot, they say parity is tight, it's close, and everybody's in the same corner of the box. But you never know until you see it on the racetrack.
What's it like being called into the NASCAR hauler for doing something on the track they didn't agree with?
So getting called to the NASCAR hauler is like getting called to the principal's office. You have your own reasons of why or what, and you really want to tell them why or what, but you are better off just keeping your mouth shut and taking the beating and walking on and seeing the light come up the next day. So I've had some meetings in there where I knew I was in the right and I knew I had a point, and my point was the solid, valid point. And boy, did that bite me in the ass.
It's less daunting now than it was 15 or 20 years ago, though, right?
I don't, maybe a little bit. You still, I'm trying to think. Who was one of my worst meetings? It
You
was.
see Helton in there.
Well,
They all
Helton. I
vote.
think
Yeah.
Helton's still probably going to be in those meetings. Yeah, but O'Donnell in there. Who was the director?
Elton
No.
Sawyer?
Huh?
Elton Sawyer?
No. The director years ago, like 05, 06, 07.
Darby.
Yeah, those three. Darby, Helton, and O'Donnell. Those were the 3 worst. Now you've got Moran, I think, who's going to be in there, and maybe Elton. But fortunately, I don't know because I haven't been in there in a while. So it's not a comfortable situation.
Have you walked, like, there's been occasions though where you're upset with them and you take it to them. They don't call you in. You're going to them. What's that situation like?
Way better. I mean, way easier.
But
yeah.
do you quickly walk? If other people are saying like they walk in, they're like, you're all excited and fired up, and then you walk to the door and you're like, yeah, that's a bad idea.
Yeah.
Is that how it was for
definitely.
you?
Oh, well, I've definitely had other times where I've wanted to walk in there and say my piece on other things as well, too. Me being inviting myself, not being invited. And my guys get around me and they're like, yeah, no, I don't think you should do that. I think you should just kind of let that go. Don't worry about it. So, I mean, It just kind of depends on the situation. But I haven't been in there in a while, so I'm gonna knock on wood.
Jimmy was talking about they made him wait about
Who?
half an Jimmy Johnson. Made him wait with him. Was it him and
Tony Stewart.
Okay.
Yeah. This was in what was that? 04. 04.
Yeah.
Did they ever make you wait? Like just
Oh yeah, they take their sweet ass time coming down. Yeah. No question.
intentionally?
I think the last time I was in there for a big issue was me and Harvick in 11 at Darlington.
Yeah.
I think that was the last time.
What's it like being
So,
in there? I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, they just take their time, like, and then they come down there and you're all sitting at each other, staring at each other. And nobody's in a good
gonna
mood,
blink.
and yeah.
What's it like sitting across from a guy that you just had an incident with, and then you guys are all fired up and hate each other, and you have to sit in there and just kind of twiddle your thumbs?
That's what you do.
You just sit there and
you just sit there and don't say much. Yeah.
Has Brexton asked about going to the NASCAR Hall, or what's that like, Dad?
Mm-mm. He doesn't know anything about that. No. No. He's not on YouTube yet.
Well, that Kyle Busch back in the day of those adventures in the hauler.
Right.
What words come out of your mouth when Brexton's getting fired up and hot and wants to go after somebody?
I just calm down and take a breath and think about it for a second. But trust me, there's been a couple times. Last year we were at a racetrack and he got wrecked by the same kid 3 times, 3 days in a row. And I was like, okay, you have permission to go kick his ass, because if you don't do it, I'm gonna go do it. And the kid's 9 years old, so I know I can't go do it. But
So did he?
no, we went over there and talked to him though. We were like, all right, enough is enough. Like, one more time and the gloves are off. Like, actually, the gloves are off now. We're just forewarning you. If you get close, it's gonna happen.
You think it was because his last name was Bush?
A little bit. He already has a little bit of a bullseye, but that happens.
Looking ahead to this year, 2022.
It'll only make him tougher.
Looking ahead to this year, 2022, everyone had to, face the next gen car. Last year, you were on a new team, new manufacturer. Preparing for this year, has there been more things you've been able to do? Do you feel kind of like this? Do you get what I'm trying to say? And is that if you feel more prepared, has there been more things you've been able to work on this off season to be prepared for the year 2?
Working with Randall going into year number 2 with him and all the guys, that's obviously better. I feel like we've had a really good start to the year last year, and then we cooled off a lot towards the end, which was not good. But we sat down and we talked about a lot of those things of like, okay, what made us strong, what made us good, what were some of the setup tendencies that we ran well with each track last year, what were some of them that didn't, so we tried to go through all of that stuff and pinpoint exactly, but that's always kind of hard to do. We also relied a lot on the Team Chevy notes that we have from the Hendrick bunch and the Trackhouse bunch to kind of fine-tune our stuff a little bit more, to have a better idea of what direction to go this year.
Thank you.
I'm not gonna say you ever looked fat, but you look.
This is Harrison Burton, driver the number 21. Make sure to hit that subscribe button. Also, check out one of these 2 videos beside me. Visit frontstretch.com for more racing content.